This episode of Not About Wrestling is sponsored by Tempo. Dedicated to giving people nonstop energy, superior strength, and incomparable confidence, Tempo supplements guarantee you'll never miss a beat thanks to its special formulation of natural ingredients and essential nutrients, made only with the safest standards. There are two versions of Tempo: Hungover as Fuck, a natural alcohol hangover supplement, and Fuck Coffee, a supplement for clarity and focus. Check out both at meettempo.com. Find your rhythm with Tempo. What's up, everybody? It's Chris. Welcome to another edition of We Run This. We got a really great show for you this week. We've got Devon Levesque on the show. Super awesome guy. He's a trainer. He's a former football standout. He is an entrepreneur. He does a little bit of everything. But right now, what he's doing is he's training to bear crawl a marathon. Yes, you heard me correctly. He's going to bear crawl 26 miles. And obviously the first question that Nick and I ask are, why would you want to do that? So we get into that almost immediately. It was a great conversation. Devon's a great dude, and you're really going to enjoy it. We talk about a lot of different stuff. His original plan was to bear crawl the New York City Marathon, but obviously COVID-19 put an end to all that. But, you know, that withstanding, he still decided to go for the whole 26 miles. So we talk about that. We talk about like his training, how the changes in his body, how he mentally prepares, physically prepares. It's an insane conversation. So you're going to want to listen to the entire thing. You're always going to want to listen to the entire thing. But, I mean, I hope you don't turn our podcast off. But you're going to want to listen to this whole one. Devon's a great guy. So let's get right into it. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Devon Levesque.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the We Run This podcast. With me, as always, Chris Illuminati, myself, Nick Dimengo. Good to be back in the States, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I feel like I'm living the same day for like 7 years. So
Nice.
That's not a bad thing, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. Did you get to some running today at all?
I'm going with a group at 6:30 tonight.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're dealing with the whole, like, it's getting darker earlier, so we got to make it quicker. So, you know how that is.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm kind of dealing with that too. Well, we've got a guest today. He is an absolute beast. Does a little bit different than what normally you and I do, is pounding the pavement. Devon Levesque, right? Did I say it correctly?
Yeah, man, it's all good. Yeah, Devon Levesque. What's up,
Devon, how you doing, man?
What was that?
How you doing?
Oh man, hey, I'm good, man. Staying positive. You know, just trying to figure it out like everyone else.
Now, Devon,
Nice.
Devon, we want you on for many reasons, but let's just get the first one out of the way because it's absolutely ridiculous. You're gonna bear crawl a marathon.
Yeah.
and I've been thinking about this for like 3 weeks since we set up this interview. Why the hell would you want to do that?
Dude, great question. You know what? We had this idea back in November, and dude, I just want to do something that's going to raise awareness for this really cool charity called FitOps, which puts veterans through a training course, and they come out personal trainers on the other side. Then we can place them in the job. So we're trying to lower the suicide rate down to 0. Right now, it's at about 25 a day with veterans. But at the same time, I also wanted to do something like you just said that sounds psychotic. How is somebody going to do that? I wanted to do something that, you know, if I can put my mind to it for a year and fucking train for this and accomplish it, kind of show people that you can do anything and kind of open people's mind. I think a lot of people get down on themselves in the gym, training. What do? Do I do weights? Do I do CrossFit? Do I do this? Do I do that? And I think it's just like putting your head to it and just fucking doing it. No excuses, get it done. And I'm about 6 weeks out right now. I have a 9-mile crawl. Sounds weird. I have a 9-mile crawl on Saturday, a 10-mile the following Saturday, and then I kind of start ramping down to get ready for the 26.2 mile bear crawl around New York.
Dude, that's insane. So, like, how did you get into bear crawling regularly like this?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I was doing it kind of as a kid. I would kind of just do it around the house. I've always had it. I played, college football. I played football my whole life, and we would always have to bear crawl in the field. I was always naturally pretty decent at it. But I would always add it to my training style. But going a full mile, the first time I ever did that was last November, and then I started to increase it, more wrist mobility, little back mobility things, different techniques. I've kind of learned, and I don't know, just you just gotta do it. There's no secret pill.
What's the training like? Do you have to just do bear crawls, or is there other training involved to get ready for that?
Yeah. So there's a couple like different programmers that have kind of helped me out throughout the thing. The thing with that I've noticed, if you follow a marathon training style, you want to get done the race as fast as possible. I'm just trying to finish the race. I'm just trying to finish 26.2 miles. So it's a little different. I pretty much have a certain amount of miles that I'm trying to hit each week, and then add in a big bear crawl, like the 10 mile or 13 mile, I don't know, every month or so. But yeah, I have a set amount. So maybe it goes from 10 miles a week, it's all broken down 3, 3, 3, 1, or so on and so forth. I'll never get up to 26.2 during training. I'm going to the doctors weekly. I get B12 shot, I get IV drip. I actually just got nerve blocks in my shoulder. Not necessarily because I'm injured, just to kind of help me get through it. And I actually got stem cell done as well about 5 weeks ago, and I feel really amazing with that. They basically injected 5 billion of these little cells into my bloodstream, and they're kind of like walkie-talkies. So anytime I'm feeling sore, it like shoots those new cells to that part of the body, and I just heal really fast.
That's crazy.
Do you feel that immediately, or is that like something that takes a while?
It took about 3 weeks to kick in, and I swear to God, I woke up one day and I was like, whoa, like, this is crazy.
I mean, how do you get like loose, and like what are the reactions from people when you go out there and you're bear crawling, and like Chris and I are sitting there like, dude, what the fuck is this guy doing? We're running, and this guy's on like hands and knees about to go 26.2 miles.
Yeah, so my training, honestly, I have a pretty packed day. And so I actually start my bear crawl usually around like 3 a.m. and then I'll go into like a full day of work. That's probably the most strenuous part of this whole thing, is like putting time aside to actually do it, because 7 miles takes me about 4.5 hours. So where are you just going to find 4.5 miles in a day when you have to do that 3 times a week? But back to the point of people looking at me, I've bear crawled Runyon Canyon in Los Angeles. I've bear crawled the Brooklyn Bridge. You'd be surprised how many people are just not fazed by it, because you're in New York. I mean, I've seen much weirder things in New York than someone bear crawling around. LA, when I was doing Runyon Canyon, the dogs got scared more than the humans. The dogs were flipping out. Yeah.
They probably thought you were trying to attack them or something.
Yeah.
Do you have an exact date picked out for it?
Yeah, I'm gonna start October 30th. I'm looking at 5 p.m. But again, like I thought, I want to get done in under 24 hours. So I was gonna start October 5th or October 30th at 5 p.m. and go all the way through the night. I have 25 designated people that are walking with me, whether it's veterans, doctors, my general hype crew of just like my boys that are just gonna walk with me and just amp me up the whole time. But now, like with the training, now that I'm like further along, I think I might get done a little quicker. So I might start later in the night, so I don't have to go through the entire night. I might start at like an 8 or 9 p.m.
Right.
And then what are you wearing on your hands so your hands just don't get like chopped up?
Dude,
you're going for 24 hours.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys play college sports, but you get blisters a lot, in college. And so they have this stuff called second skin. And so I put that on both my palms. And then I put this, like, I guess tape style stuff, put more tape. I've got these Gymshark gloves that they sent me. I put those on, and then I put 2 heels from a shoe, like the inner part of a Dr. Scholl's, right? Put those on, wrap it again. And then I actually put these I don't even know what you call them. Like you put them on your finger, I think when you count money, right? And so I put them on each one of my fingers, and then I put tape around it, and I have to re-tape everything every 3 miles. And so to like, even to get ready in the morning, to be honest, I have my mom come over and she just like wraps it up for me. She'll like walk with me around the thing. But yeah, it's definitely the hand health is the most difficult part right now, for sure.
When people wake up race day or leading into race day, they tend to look at the weather and the elements. Like, what's going to be the worst case scenario for that?
I mean, if it starts snowing, right? I mean,
I think you might be okay with that. You might. I don't know. Like, I don't want to jinx it, but
I mean, rain. I looked at the Farmer's Almanac like 3 months ago. It said that it's supposed to be in like low 60s, which would be ideal. If I could get like no rain, I think I'm solid. Yeah. If it does rain, I mean, I gotta look at it because I mean, I'm just gonna develop so many like not calluses, but my hands are gonna be so moist. And it'll just tear them up, and it would actually just not even be worth it. It would be impossible to crawl. So if it does rain, I might push it like a day back, but regardless, I'm definitely doing it.
So like, I'm just a runner. I barely lift at all. Talk about some of like the benefits of someone who's like wanting to get into bear crawling and be like, this is a full body workout. To do maybe a mile or do it up a hill, just kind of like ease into it. Obviously, no one's doing 26.2, but like, what tips would you give someone trying to get into it to get the whole body workout?
Yeah, I don't think there's like an exact way that people train. I despise the people that are like, you have to do CrossFit or you have to do weightlifting. You're just like, shut up, you don't have to do that. Like whatever works for whoever it is, right? Like what works for you might not work for me because something's more fun to me than it is to you. That's just what it is. With bear crawling, I think it's cool like to try, right? You're always on 2 feet. What happens when you're on all fours, right? Like try it out. You get more comfortable with your body. I think that's kind of the goal of working out and fitness is to be as comfortable in any situation that you put yourself in real life to, just be as comfortable as you are on 2 feet. So if I'm on my back and, you're doing jujitsu training, how comfortable are you on your back? If you're on all fours, how comfortable are you on all fours? The way my body's developed over the past 12 months of me bear crawling, my heart rate doesn't really get above 120 when I'm bear crawling, which is really, really low. It's just a constant. It's almost like walking now. And it's crazy because when I first did a mile back in November, I mean, my heart rate was up by like 150, 160. I was like out of breath. And now it's just gradually. So it's proving the point of there's no secret pill. It's just fucking doing it. Just waking up, getting it done. For people that want to get into bear crawl, watch your hands, like definitely wrap them. Wrist mobility, your quads are going to get super, super tight. Your hips, you got to do a lot of hip mobility stuff. But overall, I think it's a really cool exercise for people to even try,
How's it changed the other things you do? Like, have you found that like you have more upper body strength? Like, are you better cardiovascular? Like, what other changes have you seen?
Yes, for sure. So, definitely my endurance has increased. So now me running, I like to do sprints. I never run long distance, but now when I do run long distance with a buddy or something, I feel much better. So it definitely increased there. I like to like walk on my hands, do like handstand walks, and my shoulders are super, super strong now. So I can kind of just withstand walking longer on my hands if I add that into programming. But yeah, those are probably the 2 biggest: endurance and like shoulder strength.
Yeah. You're also a partner at the Performix House, and you train like athletes, entrepreneurs. What's like one major tip that you kind of give them, whether it's for training, recovery, nutrition, that's like the most important thing that they need to know?
Yeah, I think you gotta work out, you gotta sleep, you gotta eat every day. Even if your workout is just you stretching out, even if it's you sitting in the sauna, you sweating. I think those 3 things are like crucial just in living. You got to work out, you got to eat, and you got to sleep, right? And I think the other most important thing is to listen to your body. The amount of doctors that have hit me up and like, you're going to break your wrist, God forbid I don't, knock on wood, or like this isn't going to work, or people like this is impossible. they don't know my body. I know my fucking body. You know what I mean? So the fact, like, I think a lot of people are just listening, but they're not listening to themselves. And so you got to listen to your body. If I don't like eating kale and it doesn't go down well, it doesn't mean I have to eat kale just because everyone else is eating kale. You know, so listen to your body. What works in your stomach, what doesn't, what workouts are fun to you. You don't have to listen to some person that is telling you have to do it this way to get in shape. Whatever works for you, works for you.
How do you find the time to juggle everything besides waking up at 3 a.m.?
Yeah, I think it's more like systems in place. I think I have like a really strong teams working around me with all, I guess, the different companies I'm involved in. And I focus on what I think I'm good at, which is a lot of brands use me for like the creativity aspect. And so I focus on my lane. I try not to be the CEO of every company and a know-it-all. I try to stay open-minded, stay in my lane. And that allows, I think, me to balance everything. Because if I start just adding more and more tasks to my list, I would just get overwhelmed.
So talk us through the first time you got on a treadmill to do a bear crawl. Like, you have any stories of just like absolutely biting it? I mean, you have to, right?
Yeah, I mean, you said people doing the bear crawl?
No, like you doing the bear crawl. Like, have you just been like tossed off the back of the damn thing?
Yeah, so like, I do it on a treadmill. I put it at like 2.1 miles an hour. You know, I gradually do it. I've never the only time I flew off is when I was with Brandon Marshall like 4 weeks ago down in Florida, and he's on this massive treadmill, and first we sprint on it. So first I'm sprinting. He's like, you're not gonna get above 20 miles an hour. It's like, this guy doesn't know me. I'm going to get above 20 miles an hour. And so then I'm at 20, 21, 22. I almost flew off at 22, and I'm like, put it up. And Brandon's only ever done 22 before. And so I hit the 23. You have to stand on it for a minimum of 3 seconds for it to count. And so I'm on it. I'm like, I can't stop. Got the 23. We were super amped. Then we were like, let's see how fast you can bear crawl. And so he's on like the left-hand side of the treadmill. He's just like banging off the weight. And I'm just going. There's no way for you to just stand up. You can't go from a bear crawl then just stand up on a treadmill. You know, and so I just had to fly off the back, and it was, I don't know, I guess I did it safely, but it was, he's a character. You guys ever met Brandon Marshall?
No, I have not.
He's an avatar. The guy is the largest human like out there. He's just like proportionally enormous. And then he drives around this truck that's also equivalently super large, but the truck, but like him next to the truck does not look large at all. It's crazy.
You brought up a funny little point of that story that he said to you couldn't do it. How many things in your life have people told you couldn't do it, and you like, yep, I'm doing it?
Yeah, that's like the whole reverse psychology. I think I probably developed that from like playing sports, and like a lot of my coaches, I think growing up, were like, Devon's not doing it, you're not doing it. I mean, to a certain point, right? And I don't know, I think that just drives me a little bit more. And I think anyone that kind of plays sports growing up understands that reverse psychology of their coach telling them, yeah, you can't do that. But like deep down, you're like, fuck, that means he wants me to do it, you know?
Right. Do you tend to challenge your clients like that?
Yeah, for sure. for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely like a different person when I'm like training with people, because like, I don't know, I just think people are wimps in the gym sometimes. It's just like everyone's always looking for a magic pill. Everyone's looking for like the quick fix. There's no quick fix out there. It's you just fucking going in, getting it done, sweating, feeling good, pushing your body hard every time, and you're gonna see results. There's no like, all right, I'm gonna take this pill and okay, I'll lose weight in 2 weeks, or all right, I'm gonna do this workout at, you know, this group fitness class, and I'm all of a sudden, like, it's about how hard you're pushing yourself and you staying consistent. That's the only way you're going to see results. And so that's why when I do talk to, you know, members of our gym and, you know, we're working out, I'm just like, don't fucking give me your bullshit excuse, you know?
So we talked to a guy last week who was a big runner, but also a coach. Do you have trouble like trying to figure out how to separate pushing yourself, because that's very different, than like being harsh and pushing the fuck out of someone else who's one of your clients?
Yeah, for sure. So I think I've been, I don't know, I guess fortunate enough to be around sports my whole life. I've been playing sports since I was 6, 7 years old. And I've always been like super fascinated with like the movement and like how you're supposed to move. So like having a really good running form or staying on the balls of your feet or, you know, throwing a baseball or whatever it is. And so I think from a young age, me just seeing humans in an athletic world, throwing a ball, catching a ball, landing on one foot, landing on 2 feet, sprinting off the line, whatever it is, I'm now able to kind of see humans or members that maybe have never played a sport in their life, and I see them running. I'm like, oh, you're running on your heels, or oh, you need to loosen up your hands, or loosen up your cheeks a little bit when you're running, or when you land, don't land so awkwardly. Be an athlete. And so I think that me growing up has kind of helped for sure around sports. It's helped me understand how the body's supposed to look when you're playing sports or working out or doing a movement.
Have you noticed, this is something I actually noticed recently, with the quarantine and everything going on, quarantine, COVID, all that stuff, it's given the lazy people more of an excuse to be lazy. But on the flip side, the people who aren't, it's given them even more motivation because their gyms aren't open or they can't do all the things. So it's like, okay, now I really got to figure out. So do you feel like there's like for the people who are slightly lazy, like you have to eliminate all of the excuses and the shit that they can't say to be like, look, now you have no gym, now you have nothing, now you have to figure it out by yourself?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting because COVID has given people so much time back in their life. They don't have to get dressed for work and travel into work. So that's like 2 hours. And then same thing on the way back, right? Getting out of work and sitting in traffic, doing whatever, another 2 hours. So you're giving back, especially these, people in these 9-to-5 jobs, you're giving them back like 4 hours a day to their life. So what are you doing with that 4 days? Are you getting extra sleep? Are you, working out? I was on a call with Lavinia Erico, who founded Equinox, and she had a really interesting point that especially when you're in these tier 1 cities, you get caught in this rat race and you're just fucking constantly going. COVID's allowed you to slow down. So yeah, as much as you shouldn't make excuses, and yeah, you're giving back 4 hours a day. Yeah, maybe work out with it, focus on your body. Maybe catch up on sleep. I mean, when's the last time that people really did catch up on sleep? And especially in these tier 1 cities, that it's a rat race constantly. Like I've caught up on so much sleep in the last 6 months. I feel amazing. I know my girlfriend has as well. And it just allows you to to get up, grab a coffee, kind of relax for a second, enjoy life, pet the dog. I think people are missing that part. And kind of allowing it, and now it's creating this new system of life for people, right? And so now they're going to take that and hopefully implement it into their new routine that they're going to have post-COVID, which I think will now affect them later in life, and now give them a healthier routine. And so not necessarily, okay, fuck, those 4 hours a day you have to work out, but those 4 hours a day you should focus on your health and your well-being and your family and like kind of just catching up. And hey, who knows, 2 hours extra of sleep didn't kill anyone,
I mean, along those lines, talk about like the mental aspect of all this stuff through COVID, through working out, talk about some of the positivity that, you coach or you use regularly to kind of get through your day.
Yeah. So if I'm having like a really shitty week, I try to wake up and I try to write some things down, one, like what I'm grateful for. Life isn't always the best, but there's always things to be grateful for, whether it is my girlfriend, whether it is, my dogs, whether it is, where I live, whatever it is. I just write it down real quick. Then I write down, who can I thank or apologize to today? Again, world's not perfect. Maybe I said something to someone. Let me go apologize to them today. That's going to make their day. Or if someone did something, let me go thank them for the day. And then at the bottom, sometimes I just put down some random notes, some stuff's on my mind. From a mental aspect with the bear crawl, whenever I go into a bear crawl, I always tell myself I'm going to do more miles than I'm really going to do. But I like convince myself really hardcore, like, all right, I'm doing 7 miles today. I'm doing it. But realistically, all I really needed to do that day was 4 or 5. And so once I get to the 4 or 5, it's like, I'm done. That's it. But if I told myself I'm doing 4 or 5, by mile 2 or 3, I'm like, fuck, like, I don't want to do this anymore, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that part from a mentality standpoint, I think has like, I've really noticed it a lot, and noticed that a lot of this anxiety and stress you get around working out or doing something that, you know, is challenging is straight up mental. It's all mental. Even, you know, this Saturday I'm doing 9 miles. I was supposed to bear crawl today. I took it off, and I'm strictly focusing right now on the next 2 days to get this 9 miles done in the time I want. And who's to say that's right or wrong, you know? But from my mental perspective, that's the choice I'm going to make, you know?
Are you listening to music or anything while you're bear crawling, or are you just kind of like?
Yeah, my girlfriend makes fun of me because I have like these same 40 songs I just listen to on repeat. Like anywhere I am, if I'm at a party, if I'm like in a car driving somewhere, if I'm bear crawling, it's like the same 40 songs.
All right, give us one or two. Give us one or two.
Dude, Rufus the Soul.
Okay.
All of their songs are just fire. I have a couple Red Hot Chili Pepper songs in there.
Okay.
What else? Oh, this new song. It's actually pretty good, but it's kind of like she made me put this on, but I actually kind of like it. It's 17. I don't even know the artist, but it's like 1-7, and I don't know if it's like a lovey song, but it just has a good beat to it. I honestly throw some Justin Bieber in every once in a while, just because Justin amps me up. Like the new Pop Star song that just came out, and his music video, I think it was actually pretty cool.
There's no shame. We're not going to judge you here.
Yeah, not at all, man. Judgment-free zone over here.
You know? So yeah, a couple of those songs. I do listen to quite a bit of podcasts. BroBible.
Yeah, besides this one? Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. That's all I listen to. That's it. A couple of books. My buddy Ross Edgley, he actually swam around Great Britain in 157 days. He's the one that convinced me to do the bear crawl. And he has this new book out called Art of Resilience, which is a really cool book. And I listened to it while I'm bear crawling. I've repeated chapters because it's literally talking about like your mental strength when you go through something so strenuous, which is really cool. And then, you know, a couple books here and there. But I always go back to that playlist with those 40 songs.
Are there any world records like related to this that you know of? Like, has anyone tried this?
Dude, Guinness actually, they literally just emailed me this morning. So we're going to fill out an application to do the longest bear crawl in 24 hours by human. So that's what I'm going to try to do. There's also a Guinness Book of World Record out where it's longest non-stop bear crawl, which I think is like 2.1 miles, which I've actually beaten it like every week for the past, I don't know, 20 weeks, which is cool.
Nice.
So we just got to get that on. There's another one where it's world's fastest bear crawl, where it's 100 meters, and I think they get it done in like 15.8 seconds. And so I kind of want to beat that one at some point.
Would you try that earlier in the crawl or later in the crawl?
I think the world's fastest bear crawl, that would have to honestly be a whole separate day. I don't want to like risk an injury from doing that. But I think during the crawl, I want to beat like the one where it's like the most continuous. How I have the crawl set up right now is basically every 1.5 miles, I take a break. And then after that 1.5 miles, you're at 3 miles, re-wrap my hands, and I kind of do that consistently. The biggest breaks I take is like 10 minutes. And that's strictly because when you're on all fours, your heart can't pump blood to your hands and feet in that position. And so my hands and feet literally go numb. Like I can't feel them at all. And so I have to shake them out. And so that's kind of why I take the break, but it's going to be crazy.
Are you going to eat anything?
Yeah, I'm on kind of a cool regimen. A lot of coconut butter, a lot of honey, dates. This dietitian Melanie has been putting together a cool program for me, and some days I try her program and literally just throw up the entire time. Some days I feel great. Sometimes I have to leave, and so we've kind of been trialing it for the past 20 weeks or so. And yeah, I think we're at a good place right now.
I mean, are you going to eat during the race?
Oh yeah. It's all I honestly don't follow diets outside of like this, I guess. I just think diets are super temporary. But for this, during that's what I'm talking about. During my physical bear crawls, like I noticed when I was doing like 9-10 miles, I would like cramp up, or I wouldn't feel too good, or I just didn't really know what I should be eating. And I would talk to these marathon runners, but they're only running for 2.5, 3, 4 hours max. I'm literally bear crawling for 10, 15 hours. So there's got to be a difference. And so, yeah, she has like every mile and a half, I eat like 2 dates and coconut butter. Then I have, I don't know, Pedialyte and more honey or something, you know what I mean? So we have a whole regimen of what we're eating.
So on the day that you finish this, what's that night look like? Like, how are you going to celebrate finishing?
Oh man. Well, you see, I haven't drank in like 7 weeks now, which I don't think I've done that since I went to a military academy in high school. Like that's a long time I just enjoy having a good tequila or wine. So I'm definitely going to have some drinks afterwards. Definitely going to, hang with the boys and, have some people over, probably have a cookout. It was weird because when I did 13 miles, maybe like 7 weeks ago, I started at 4:18 a.m. I got done at 2:48 p.m. and we ended up going out until like 2 a.m. that night. And like it wasn't like we weren't out at bars or anything. We were just like at my house, and I was just up until 2 a.m. drinking, having a good time, and it was crazy because I just bear crawled 13 miles. Like I got this crazy adrenaline rush, I think. So I hope that kind of happens the day up.
One last question. How are you going to avoid, like, you've been training for this for so long, when you complete it, how are you going to avoid the letdown? Like once it's over and you've done it, like a lot of athletes have letdowns when they accomplish something big. Like, is it going to be immediately on to the next thing, or what are you going to do?
Yeah, I have heard of that. I have so many things, just on my board of shit to do.
Oh, look at that.
We have a lot of things launching. This arena box, which is a gym in a box, we're launching. I'm involved in quite a bit of companies. So I'm definitely going to be super busy afterwards, where I don't think I'm going to fall into that category of like, okay, I did it. Now what? I have stuff scheduled for immediately right after that, like that week after. So definitely gonna do that. Definitely gonna probably go down to Mexico for like 2 weeks, just kind of relax. But I like to plan out, so I think I'll be all right.
What beaches are you gonna bear crawl? Any of them?
Beaches?
Yeah, you're gonna bear crawl.
Dude, after I bear crawl this, I'm gonna have to give bear crawling a break for a while.
Oh man, you're letting me down.
Dude, I did bear crawl from Long Branch down to Asbury Park though.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was like 5 miles, 6 miles, and it was crazy. Like the houses over there, the different types of sand that you see, it's just weird when you're on all fours and you're just looking at the ground the whole time. It gives the world like a perspective of like how big this world is, and I'm just like looking at these little grains of sand the whole time.
What's the craziest or like weirdest thing you've crawled across? Like you saw?
I've straight up put my hand in like dog poop. Like I'm just not paying attention. I'm like, I had to stop my bear crawl. That's pretty brutal.
Is that when you get your mom to rewrap your hand? You're like, Mom!
Yeah, Mom comes in and rewraps it.
Exactly.
Mom, take this!
What do I do?
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Nick, anything else?
No, man, I appreciate it. I think it's so interesting to hear that you're doing this. Wish you the best of luck. Sounds like you're going to fucking kill it. So we'll have to check back in with you afterwards and see how it all went.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. And you guys are ever out in New York or LA, would love for you guys to come see, our facility at Performance House, and more than happy to have you guys.
Cool. I might take you up on that. I could just.
Dude, yeah, I'll give you my number right after this.
Cool, man. All right. Well, Devon, thanks a lot. Good luck. I hope we get to cover you afterwards, and we could say 2
I got you. Yeah,
records.
dude, I'll reserve a spot for you guys to definitely do another follow-up.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, man. Have a great one, okay?
Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Yeah. See you, dude.
And that brings another episode of We Run This to a close. Nick and I want to thank everybody for listening. If you love the podcast, please share it with friends or leave a review on iTunes. And remember to follow Nick and I on social media. He's at It's Nick Dimengo, and I'm at Chris Illuminati on Twitter. Or follow us both on Instagram at WeRunThis_pod. Until next time, see everybody out there.